All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Dazn US Boxing is failing, and more than likely, it will be sold to another company or shut down within the next couple years. That's what we're going to talk about in this video coming up next. All right. Look, man, there is a major boxing platform that is in big trouble because it got a lot of money. It borrowed a lot of money in the hopes of getting American fight fans to sign up for the platform. And it's not doing a very good job of it. And as a result of stiff competition coming from another platform, it might just shut down. Now, I know that the people who are familiar with this channel would think that must be, absolutely must be, the PBC. Because the PBC had a $500 million investment. And it went through the $500 million investment, and the media was talking about how it was going to fail, and you kept hearing it, and you kept hearing it, and you kept hearing it, all the way till it never happened. And them signing a big deal with Fox and signing a big deal with Showtime and doing very well. So I'm sure that the media was going to report on what MediaResearch.com released just yesterday about Dazn. It seems that Dazn only, despite having $1 billion set aside for US boxing in the United States, has only managed to capture 1% of the US streaming market. And it is 5 times smaller than the leading sports streaming platform. Very fortunate for us that we know who the leading platform is, and we can tell you who that is now. That is ESPN Plus, with a subscriber base of 2 million people. Now, interestingly enough, in this report that media released, MediaResearch.com released, it specifically talked about Dazn and how Dazn was the streaming service in the United States was doing relative to its largest competitor, ESPN. And it has ESPN, according to media research, ESPN Plus is 5 times larger than Dazn is. So if we pull out our calculators, we realize that means that Dazn has 400,000 US subscribers. 400,000 US subscribers after having invested $127 million in their budget to the first year of boxing. Now, so what does that mean? If all 400,000 people signed up for their annual plan and they stayed subscribed for the entire year, that would mean that they would do 400,000 times $100 is $40 million. So through their subscriptions, they are going to bring in roughly $40 million on $167 million in cost. That is being in the hole by over $120 million. Dazn boxing right now is what you call a money pit. But according to this research, so is the rest of Dazn, because Dazn internationally is projected to have, over the next, I think they said the next 2 years, a $4 billion $600,000 deficit. $4 billion $600 million deficit. The deficit being how much they're bringing in and versus how much they are in debt and how much they're spending. So at the end of this, it talks about, at the end of all this research, it talks about how more than likely Dazn is going to be, they're going to be acquired. That's their prediction, because even if they were able to get more markets and they were able to get the rights to more sporting events, and they were able to keep all of the subscribers that they currently have, that would not justify the amount of money that they're spending. So there's also some other bit of interesting news about the competition within the United States. This media research said that, again, that their largest competition was ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus's chief of streaming came out and said it's very highly likely that ESPN Plus is now going to be bundled with or sold together with Hulu, YouTube TV, and some other products that they're going to sell. So ESPN Plus is now not going to have any marketing costs associated with selling. It's going to be sold to everybody who's going to be buying, and new subscribers to Hulu, new subscribers to whatever 3-4 other streaming apps that they're going to give in a package, which means that the ESPN Plus app is going to be more widely distributed and grow at a faster pace than it currently is right now. So if that is their main if that's the main competition, ESPN Plus and Dazn, and ESPN is growing and growing in capital and growing at a faster rate than they already are right now, with reduced costs in marketing, because again, it's bundled, which means that to sell it, they don't have to pay any marketing costs. They don't have to pay any of the costs associated that they would have if they were standalone, because it's getting handed out with Hulu. Similar to how when cable came out in the early, the late 80s, early 90s, packages, shows like Oprah Winfrey didn't have to get picked up by individual TV stations. It could get picked up by a cable company that would just include it in its package, right? You don't have to choose. It's not a premium service. It comes with the package. So all in all, man, it doesn't look like Dazn as it is going to be a particularly viable option, standalone option in the years to come. But here's what I think is most important to understand for boxing. When you look at the numbers that were laid out by the people, the original report came from sports media, who got an actual look at the financial documents. But then in media research's discussion, they went through what the largest markets were for Dazn, where you have Germany and Japan being the largest. They have the biggest market penetration in Germany and in Japan. Followed by that, after that, it would be Spain, right? So that's where Dazn has the biggest push in the markets, right? I think Brazil, Dazn might have just signed a deal to stream soccer. Those are going to be the big assets for Dazn. So when somebody's looking to acquire Dazn, they're going to say, okay, if we're going to buy you, if we're going to take over your debt, bring you into our organization, right? They're going to look at what parts they actually want to buy and what parts they want to shut down. And when you have a new ownership, some lines of businesses go away. And typically the businesses that are going to go away are the ones that are least profitable. So if you have somebody that's a higher up that's looking at the books and saying, okay, we just bought Dazn's streaming service. What do we like about it? Okay, they got good market penetration in Asia. They've got really good market penetration in Germany. Yeah, we're going to focus on, we're going to really push, and we want it because of the business that they have in Asia. So say ESPN or Disney doesn't have a streaming sports service in Asia. They're going to say, okay, yeah, we like that. But then we like Germany. So good. Buying that introduces us into that market. But what are they going to say about the stuff that is losing them money? Like $1 billion over a 6-year commitment where you're losing $126 million a year. Now, that might be what they look at and say, no, we're going to dump that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to cut our losses because, we're really going to shove our boxing over to ESPN Plus. So now we're going to take whatever assets we bought that were in boxing and Dazn, since we own both ESPN Plus and Dazn through this corporate takeover, we're going to move all of our boxing off of Dazn and move it on to ESPN Plus. And that is a very likely outcome of these reports, which would make Bob Arum laugh all the way to the bank. The important question, though, is what does that mean for Eddie Hearn? I have my thoughts. I think that means Eddie Hearn is probably going to make a lot of money as an individual, and his boxers are probably, some of those boxers with those contracts are going to be butt out because there's more than likely pieces to those agreements that allow them to assign the rights from one television. If they're purchased, assign it to somebody else. So if I'm a boxer, I look at my assignment rights and see what's going to happen. But if what was said about Eddie Hearn is true, that he got a piece of Dazn for signing that deal, then that double dipping of Eddie Hearn could pay off for him, because if Dazn is bought and Eddie Hearn didn't put any money up front, then Eddie Hearn is going to get bought out, and Eddie Hearn is going to make money, but his boxers are going to suffer. So that's what I see from this. Let's chop it up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.